What's up, my friends? Welcome back to another video, and today we are taking a look at the updates to Time Macro and Time Micro over to the SINE player by Orchestral Tools. And if you haven't already checked out my videos on Time Macro and Time Micro, I've actually done complete walkthroughs or first looks, you could say, of those libraries on the channel already. So if you want to learn more about those libraries and their contact versions, definitely check out those videos. And today I'll just be showing you what they look like in the SINE player, go through a couple of the patches, and we'll also do a little giveaway at the very end as well. Orchestral Tools is very kind to give away 3 copies, so I'll go through all of those details at the very end so you can enter to have a chance to win a copy of these libraries. Okay, let's go through and let's talk about this bundle a little bit. So essentially, they're selling it for $3.99 intro price, and the regular it's going to be €4.99. And this deal will end on May 23rd, 2022 at the time of this recording. So basically, the main difference between Time Macro and Time Micro is Time Macro is focused on middle-sized ensembles, like mid-size. So there's not huge ensembles, but it's not super small either. Time Micro focuses on the smaller sections and the solo instruments as well. But they both have a very similar approach to orchestral sound design, you could say. There's a lot of pre-recorded ensembles that play in a very beautiful way. And these libraries definitely have the most lovely textures I've ever heard in a library in terms of orchestration and just the designs of the ensembles that they give you here. So without further ado, let's kind of jump in. Let's play through these patches. I'm going to start with Time Macro actually. And you can see here they are in the SINE player. I'll just show you the folder structures. So we have the chrono structures, which have the time orchestra. This is all the ensembles, right? And then alter time are time stretched samples and maybe reversed ones. And then you have the combined sections, so strings, winds, and then you have mixed choir as well. And then you have all the individual sections, so high, mid, and low strings, high and low woodwinds, double reeds, brass, harps, and vibes, so a little percussion, and then the choirs as well. I'll just give you my honest opinion up front. The choirs, I think, are the standouts for me in this library. In terms of practical use, I use the choirs on a near daily basis when it comes to my mockups. So I just love the choirs. And I can't wait for them to do a full choir library, honestly. But yeah, some of these other patches are just gorgeous as well. So let's start with Time Macro. I'm just going to go through some of these patches here, and then we'll talk about the sound and stuff at the very end. So without further ado, here are the 5th drops, and this is what this sounds like. All right, that is a look at some of those patches in Time Macro. So truly a special library, and I just love the overall approach. I remember when this library actually initially dropped, I was super excited because I had never seen a sample library like this before, and I was just so excited to get my hands on it and just play around with it. Admittedly, it's not a library I use all the time because I do tend to write more traditional symphonic music that's not particularly like underscore or sound design in nature. But again, like I mentioned at the very beginning, for choirs like sustains, oohs, and ahs that are a little more intimate, a little more quieter, I always go back to time macro and time micro as well. So just some beautiful textures. A little cool thing to note though is that the mod wheel, traditionally it's mapped to dynamics, right? But in these series of libraries, not only does it control dynamics, but it actually influences the amount of instruments that are playing at any one time. So at the very bottom on the mod wheel, let me just demonstrate with the fifth drops here. If I play a middle C, mod wheel's at the very bottom. You hear how you have, the C octave, and you have a fifth above, but as I push the mod wheel up, now you hear the sixth in there, so you hear an A, you also hear an E, so you hear the third, and this is at the very top. You hear more of those fluttering woodwinds, right, and the strings get louder as well. So it's just a more intensified performance, and it's not just the dynamics that are transitioning, it's actually the performance itself that's adding in extra stuff depending on where you are in the mod wheel. So a super cool approach here, and that applies with Time Micro as well. So without further ado, let me show you some of those patches here as well. So Time Micro, very, very similar folder structure. As you can see, they are laid out in the same way. Time, orchestra, alter time, combined sections, and then the individual sections with a bunch of soloists, and that's one of the calling cards of this library for sure. So let's go over some of these. Here we go. We'll start with the golden steelwork. And there we go. That is a bit of Time Micro as well. And of course, we didn't have time to go through every single articulation. I just wanted to go through one or two of some of these sections here. But first of all, I just want to apologize for the clacks, the crackles, the distortions you might have heard along the way. That is still something that SINE does to my system. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM at the moment, and this is Logic Pro 10. I don't know because the contact versions of the libraries are actually perfect. Like in terms of the processing power, they don't cause any overloads or anything, as far as I'm aware. But that being said, SINE is a lot better than it was, let's say, 2 years ago, when it would actually crash my system a few times, and it was difficult to load in patches consistently and have them all running on different patches, different tracks. So now it causes the occasional distortion, as you can hear, as the CPU kind of goes to 100 and spikes for a little bit. But worst comes to worst, you can always just bounce that track to audio to save on CPU resources. But just keep in mind that might happen to your system. If you're using SINE and you're using Logic, you might have those occasional CPU spikes. But yeah, generally, I just really enjoyed the sound of these libraries. I mean, you can't fault the actual detail of the sound signature, because it literally is as pristine and as clear as you could want sound to be. And of course, through YouTube, it's not going to be 100%, but you can trust me when I say that these samples sound sublime. So I can definitely encourage you to check out these libraries if you're looking for some libraries that contain that orchestral sound design that you want to use for underscore, and has these pre-orchestrated ensembles that just really lend themselves beautifully to these background textures. And the fact that they have those choirs there as well is just the icing on the cake, in my opinion. So a beautiful set of libraries. For me personally, I don't use them every single day, maybe every so often, but the choirs I certainly do. So the rest of those patches are ones that are like cherries on the top for me. When I want those special sounds, I'll definitely turn to this. And yeah, they've just done a great job. And yeah, now that it's on SINE, again, you can get this special deal. And I think OT is going to be publishing libraries only on SINE from this point on. So might as well get on board if you're interested in the time series. And yeah, might be fun to explore. So there we go. That's a little overview of the time series. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get into the giveaway. Again, OT is giving away 3 copies, I believe, of this bundle. So there are 3 very simple rules you need to do. As usual, as with the other giveaways, number 1, make sure you fill out the form below, and that will automatically get you entered as well, because basically I'm going to be announcing the winners through my email list. And if you're signed up through the form there, then you'll basically get notified as soon as the contest is over. And I always notify through email the winners there. So make sure you're filling out the form below to get access to this giveaway. Number 2, leave a comment below this video and let me know what you would use the libraries for. I always love to hear kind of what your inspirations are, what you kind of want to make with these tools that we give away. So I would love to hear that, maybe the style of music that you would write with, and just, let me know what you would use it for. And third and finally, please leave a like on this video. That helps the channel a lot, and it shows me that you really enjoy what we put out here. These sample library reviews, these giveaways, the content of like composition and orchestration, all that good stuff. It really means a lot when you like the video or when you leave comments. And yeah, just want to thank you again for being a part of this community. I really do appreciate it. So in any case, thank you again. I'll catch you in the next video, and take care, my friends. See you then. Bye-bye.